Crime is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
And I, John Shefsky, listen to you read the story, and I just kind of let you do your thing without interrupting.
Yeah, no, you never speak on the show, and it's one of the biggest complaints our listeners have. Like, why doesn't Jonathan Shefsky say things out loud more? And they're just like, we need more of him. And to me, honestly, it kind of hurts because I feel like my dulcet tones should be enough. But sometimes you need more. Sometimes you need to play the music.
Crime is the show that starts now.
Oh, like right now?
Oh, yeah, do your line.
Okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send...
Don't send anything to me. Don't you dare.
crimepodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send
Label
anything.
it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good.
What's up, criminals?
Hey,
oh my
guys.
gosh. Wow, listen. Oh my God, he talked.
Yeah,
wow,
he talked.
I have never heard that happen before.
That's right. It's my
And
first time.
I am so excited. What's it like using words?
Oh, it feels good. My throat's getting raspy.
Your throat's getting a little raspy?
Real quick, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is a real issue some people have. And while some of you might go, let me get a Ricola or some sort of peasant solution like that, what you really need is help from our buddy at C3 Risk and Insurance Services. My boy Joe Erle.
He's my boy, Joe.
He's my little baby boy.
He's a boy.
Joseph Erle is an insurance broker. What does that mean? He goes out and finds the right insurance for you. You need home insurance, auto insurance. My voice is raspy because I'm using it for the first time in over 30 years insurance. He's there for you. So if you visit c3insurance.com/Joe or call him 619-233-8000.
Or just press 911. You'll get a hold of Joe.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
Pick up your phone, press 911, send.
He's probably there. He's probably going to answer,
He'll
and then
answer.
he'll be like, hey, what do you need?
911, what's your insurance needs?
Yep, that's exactly how that goes. So if you get a policy from him, he'll give you a $25 Amazon gift card that you can't use towards bail for a fake 911 call, but you could use for things you might buy on Amazon. So that's pretty rad.
Give it to Jeff Bezos, I say, right? The guy who doesn't use air conditioning?
He needs more
Give
money.
that guy money. Give Dr. Evil cash.
Speaking of needing more money, guys, we have
We need more money.
We really do.
Folks, we need your money.
We need your help. And the great way to help us is to go on to patreon.com/crimepod, CRIII.
It sounds too desperate, Slaton. Bitches, we don't need your cash. We're doing fine.
We just want your support because it makes us feel good emotionally.
Yeah.
We need your emotional support. But please help us for the love of God.
Please.
You can jump on the Patreon support. You can listen to us for a little bit. You can get our bonus episodes where we goof off.
Yeah.
Or
Those
you
are
get-
fun. Some would say they're even better than an actual episode of Crime.
Jonathan David Shefsky would say that.
Just me. I'm the only one who says
Yeah.
that.
You can also
they're
jump
great.
on the Sticker of the Month Club and get a new sticker each month designed by my silent friend over here to my right. I just let you guys in. He's to my right tonight. Oh my.
His alt-right.
Yeah, that is where you live most of the time. I totally get that.
And Barry.
Ooh, Barry.
Barry
B2T.
sending you kisses for the Riff Fuel. Barry sent us, he sent us gift certificates for coffee. That's and he called it Riff Fuel. So our heart goes out to you, Barry. We freaking love you. Mwah!
Thank you,
That's a
Barry.
Barry kiss. Thank you, Barry, very much.
Now, guys, today we're doing something a little different. We usually do stories that are a little more off the beaten path. Maybe you have heard them, maybe you haven't. Maybe you only realize halfway through what we're talking about. But today we're taking a little bit of a different tack. We're doing one of probably the most famous and most debated crime stories in American and probably even world history.
Is it about the Titanic?
Yes, it is the Titanic. The crime that we are talking about, the iceberg.
Was I supposed to say that with you at the same time?
No.
In
I was
unison?
just telling you I was like, Iceberg Johnson.
That would be
was
an
born
awesome
in
episode.
the ocean somewhere in the 1900s or whatever. I don't know
Right?
when that stupid ship sunk.
Oceanographers estimate that Iceberg Johnson was born in BC
in a time.
12 million?
In a time. So, guys, today, before I introduce our guest, just so you know, just to preface you before I introduce our guest and we get into today's story.
Let's preface him.
Today's story is a little debatable, and some of you might have opinions about this story. Shut the fuck up, strap in.
It's
and
a comedy show.
Have
Just
some
have some fun.
We're going with what I assume. We're going with the official story.
Yeah, if you want the real story, listen to Tinfoil Hat.
Yeah.
All right?
If you want the inside edition, go hit up Sam Tripoli.
This is the mainstream Disney, Apple, McDonald's story that everyone's going to just
And to
believe.
guide us through, we have award-winning writer, at one point a head writer and creative director at Fox, Hilarious guy. We're super happy to have him. Put your virtual hands together for Doug Krintzman!
You know, I actually thought this was the audition for Price is Right, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you're in.
I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll. This is
better than Price is
crime.
Right.
I want to join in that opening crime thing. I want to be able to.
You could do it right now.
We could do one for
Can
you.
we do it now?
Yeah, we can do one right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Crime! Doesn't that make you feel
Oh, it
good?
makes me feel like an American.
Makes you-
Perfect.
I
Yeah,
like
hell
that.
yeah.
I like that.
Oh, say, can you crime?
Oh boy! All right,
excited.
let's stretch out and strap in,
Okay.
folks, because today is the story of Lee Harvey Oswald.
Never heard of him.
I didn't think so. At the end of the show today, I'll explain why we're doing Lee Harvey Oswald. It's a special event, and that's part of why Doug's here. So we'll get into it on the back end of the show. Make sure you stick around.
You know, you could arrange his names in any order, and he'd still be a guy who would shoot a president.
Oswald Harvey Lee.
Oh yeah, Harvey Lee Oswald.
Lee Oswald Harvey.
Harvey Lee's got like Harvey Lee. Harvey Lee sounds nice.
Harvey Lee sounds like a ball player.
Or like some 3-point shooter for Wichita State.
Harvey
Lee
Lee.
for 3.
Harvey Lee from way outside. Lee Harvey Oswald was born on October 18th, 1939 in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Ooh.
His father, Robert Edward Lee Oswald, a distant cousin. Shut up.
You're a coven fucker.
A distant coven too, can't you?
Yeah,
Be
dude,
distant
I
coven.
love my covens.
A distant cousin of famed Confederate General Robert E. Lee.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Famous
Die-
people connected to other famous people.
That's
It gets
one to
crazy.
grow on.
Died 2 months before Lee Harvey Oswald was born. So, you know how families do that where they're like, oh, let's just keep one, like Lee is in everyone's stupid name in this family.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
A lot of people do that.
I have a friend named Locke who is named that because every member of his male family has the name Locke in their name because they're all descendants of Jean Locke, not Jean Locke.
French?
Yeah,
The
no,
French
John
name?
Locke. Jean-Jacques Rousseau is a different guy.
Gotcha.
John Locke.
Gotcha.
I named my son Shefsky.
Yeah.
Shefsky, Thomas Shefsky, Shefsky.
Yeah. Shefsky, Thomas Shefsky.
Yeah.
Yep, I get it.
It's going to help him out in life and make him strong. Boy named Sue.
His mother, Marguerite, was forced to return to work to support her 3 boys. But being a high-strung and generally hostile person, she could not hold any one job for long. So Marguerite did the only thing that made sense
Margarita.
and committed her 2 oldest boys to an orphanage.
Really? And this is in the 40s?
That's what's showing the love right there. Here, love you. Here's an orphanage.
Yeah, no, that's what, I mean,
That's what they used to do in the old days a lot. They'd be like, I can't provide for you, so just peace out.
come on, you guys aren't doing that?
Oh, no.
You kept your kid.
Oh, yeah, I love my
You
kid.
didn't put him anywhere.
Oh, yeah, kids are great.
Oh, man.
I'm not one of those kid haters.
Think of how easy your life would be if you were just like, hey, bud, here's daycare forever. And then
No, it'd be better
You
if you
went
could
and
like
played pinball.
if you could keep your kid, but then like send your wife off to get adopted. That'd be more fun.
Now
Now we're
you're
cooking
onto
with,
something.
with bacon or whatever.
Cooking
they
with
call it.
gas or
Cooking with
whatever.
gas. Yeah.
she tried to dump all of her kids, but Lee was still so young that no place would take him until the day after Christmas in 1942 when he was finally old enough at 3 years old.
Won't you please take my 3-year-old future assassin? Please. I can give him a better life.
Nurture him to be the shooter he can.
Hey,
please.
buddy, Merry Christmas. Oh, look, there's Santa. And then he turns to look, and then when he comes back, Mommy. And then he's just there now.
And he just looks at things through a scope from here on out.
Yeah, that was her gift to him. Like, okay, honey, hold this scope for a minute. Oh, use it to look over at Santa Claus over there on Christmas Day. And then he turns back, he goes, Mommy. He's like looking for her at a distance. Can't find her anywhere.
That's what the whole thing is with him being a scopist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, everybody. You know what crime he's doing. This isn't about...
Yeah, we don't have to like...
This isn't even about the crime. This
Yeah.
is about who this man is.
This is an authentic podcast of people that generally don't know what's going on, those people being me.
Yeah,
And this is the one case where I know what happened.
Yeah. 2 years later, Marguerite unexpectedly showed up, grabbed her kids, and took them to Dallas, Texas.
Oh, hell
Talk
yeah.
about
Why?
foreshadowing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why'd
Yeah.
you take him to Dallas? What was hot in
To
Dallas?
remarry to a man named Edwin Ekadal. By the way, I'm gonna mispronounce a bunch of shit, and I know that all you people out there who care about this story a lot are gonna just be like rolling over. I'm just gonna preface a million things with this. This is the last preface. Whatever mistakes I make in this story, you disagree with.
no,
I mispronounce things. I say things that you think are facts.
Slatey baby.
I go with this with the
Slatey
thing.
baby. This is crime. Like we're not holding you
Just
to any of
ask
this
the
stuff.
No.
Conspiracy.
But
Just
I
have
have
a conspiracy.
never felt the need to defend myself on this show. The way I do today.
Well, maybe a little bit of need to defend yourself because
Yeah.
your thumbs move around a little much when you're reading the script. But other than that, what?
Are my favorite person, and I'm so glad we work together.
Okay.
Her new husband often traveled for work, so she sent her older boys away again, this time to a military boarding school.
What's she doing? She's just sending people away a lot. The guy's got to leave.
How are you supposed to rub one out if your kids are around all day?
That's a great
Women
question.
don't rub them out, okay? Women are always 100% satisfied sexually. It's men that have to rub them out.
Oh, is that the case? Women never
masturbating is like
women never
90%
commit the
men.
cardinal sin of touching themselves.
First of all, it's not a cardinal sin.
Is
that a baseball reference?
It's at least like a sparrow sin.
or a pizza sin.
Ooh,
that sounds good.
Maybe if a woman does it, it's a hummingbird sin. If a woman does it,
I'd say it's a
get a
beaver.
tattoo of that on your ankle.
More like a beaver sin where I come from.
I see what you
know
did
what
there.
I'm saying?
So she's dropped this kid off like 4 times by the time he's 5 already?
Oh, well, she's holding on to
Jeez.
this one. She kept little Lee by her side.
Wow.
While he missed almost an entire year of school, he would finally had a stable male role model in Edwin. Until Mom's constant bickering and demands for more money drove Edwin away.
I can see where your bitterness towards who created this assassin. Mom was a bickering bitch.
I mean,
It all goes back to childhood.
I read this stuff. I researched this one pretty heavily to make sure I really was on point for today.
She was a nagger?
And I 95% blame his mother.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
95% blame his mom.
Like
So
you just opened up the book and it's like, this bitch always bugged everyone.
that's the title of today's story, of the source, actually. This bitch always bugged everyone.
I almost fell for that. But
It's a whole chapter in the Warren Commission report, actually.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. It's
called
weird they used
On
the
the
bitch
Rag,
in
a memoir
1965.
about my
but-
mama by Lee Harvey Oswald.
So she drove Edwin away, then he came back, then he left, and then he came back. Lee and Mom moved around as well. By 1947, he'd finally completed first grade after his third attempt at a different school. By now, he was older and bigger than his classmates, leaving him in a position to be a bit of a bully.
Oh.
Bully Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, I
like
didn't know
that.
that about this guy.
Yeah, didn't that make him cooler, guys?
Okay, that's what's cool
Stock
about
up.
Taking
Stock
that-
up on Lee Harvey.
Taking
Stock
up that milk money.
You know what I'm realizing is cool about this episode?
What?
You were saying, everyone knows this story.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, the details I don't know.
You don't
no.
know the whole story.
You know the
I
ending.
This is.
I know that Lee Harvey Oswald was
You know
the
what?
guy, he was
Actually,
an
this
assassin.
is like the movie Titanic. You know how it ends, but you don't know how they get there.
Right?
You don't know the journey.
You don't know like how Jack paints her.
Yeah, you don't know what
foaming up of the
you don't know what
windows.
kind of nude drawings Lee Harvey Oswald's going to make
God, I
between
love
now
that
and the
scene.
end.
That scene made me want to be an artist.
Yes,
I
it
still
did.
can't believe she tossed that diamond over the side. I mean, that you could have taken care of her whole family for generations.
That's the
with that
worst.
thing.
The worst thing anyone's ever done. What she did there is worse than the guy who didn't miss the iceberg. I'll take
I
that stand
concur.
right
I
now.
second that. Yeah.
That's very interesting because
Sorry,
a lot
family.
of people
We don't
died.
need
but-
any more money for the rest of generations. Goodbye.
That's right. She didn't know that we weren't going to have socialized health care. You know, a lot of people are going to die because great-great-great-great-grandma didn't keep her jewelry.
The commies are probably going to win, and then she throws it.
Goodbye.
Yeah, well, grandma was a Trump voter.
In 1948, Edwin finally filed for divorce. Unable to pay for military school on her own, Marguerite was forced to take back her two eldest boys, and the four of them moved into a rundown house in Dallas, right next to the railroad tracks.
I can't believe they make you pay for military school. I thought the whole thing of the military is like, hey, we're going to send your kids to the meat grinder. All you got to do is show up, and we'll pay for everything.
Yeah, some kind of scholarship program. I mean,
Yeah, it's like we're going to military school.
Yeah, that's what the
Hook 'em up.
ROTC is.
you spell that? Oh, ROTC.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not.
Roddick.
I'm not a good speller.
They call it Roddick in the barracks.
Lee was called in court to testify during the divorce, but refused because he claimed that he would not know the truth from a lie.
He said that when he was a teenager.
Yep.
I wouldn't know the truth from a lie.
Well, he was a kid, not even a teenager yet. Just
With
a
the
kid.
right guidance, this guy could have been
A good politician,
like a
right?
train conductor or something good.
Or a CEO.
A train
of
conductor. That is one of those things where I'm like, man, I really hope this kid grows up to be a train conductor. Of all the things that I was really putting him through private school and getting him tutors and everything.
To be honest, though, that's a pretty decent job.
I
though,
have no
train
idea.
conductor.
It might be a great job, might be a terrible job.
Look it up and let me know what they make.
You get robbed occasionally if this is like
That toughens you
In
up.
the old
That's all
days,
right.
nowadays you don't. You just
1875.
get robbed of probably time and pension. But
Without Edwin, Lee and Mom clung to each other. He even slept in her bed until the age of 11.
I know people that have done that.
Yeah.
You know people in your personal life.
I have a couple of friends that like sleep in their used to sleep in their mom's bed for like until they were way older and like what the hell, like sleep in your own bed. But it's like they just did that.
Yeah, and they're all weird.
They are weird.
Yeah.
Some of them wear funny glasses or have sandals when they should be wearing shoes
That's-
and socks, but they turned out all right for the most part.
I mean, if they're wearing sandals when they should be wearing shoes,
Right?
That's
Problem.
all. Yeah,
That's a problem.
Shorts,
That's a
shorts
problem.
at night, and there's nothing grilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be locked up for that.
I know a few people that dress like Filipino sex tourists. Ooh, that's guilty as charged.
Oddly enough, they're all Filipino sex tourists.
I don't think so. I know them very well, but they do have mom problems.
Afraid
I'm just
he-
joking. They're probably listening.
Afraid he might get injured, she kept him out of sports, pushing him towards activities like tap dancing.
The guy who shot Kennedy was into tap
He's
dancing.
an amazing tap dancer.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Take notice, moms of young children. Do not get them into. Don't do anything that this mom did to her kids.
Don't put your kids into any art that is defunct now. You're like, I want you to learn how to play the oboe.
Well,
And you're like,
it's a wide range though, from military school to tap dancing.
Yeah, I was gonna say
a wide range.
well, she's putting the other kids in military school because screw them. Just get them out of the house.
Yeah.
My boy's
gonna tap
he's going to
dance.
be a star.
He's gonna tap dance his way to freedom.
I'm gonna tap his mama and then tap dance. You know what I'm saying? Little incester.
you know what's going
You know what
on.
I'm saying? It's
Stepmom. I mean, let's make sure it stays legal.
wait,
You
she's
know,
a
no,
stepmom?
she's a real mom. But I'm just
Okay,
saying, like
you
for
lie to me.
Pornhub guidelines, you never say.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
Always there.
You gotta be able to watch the porn in North Korea and Iran.
He preferred to stay home with mom instead of taking classes because she told him he was much smarter and better than the other children.
There's some nurturing. There's a little nurturing.
That might be a little too much nurturing though.
She often let him stay
Sometimes
home
you gotta tell
from
your
school.
kid like, hey, like maybe you should study a little more and learn to concentrate so you can keep up with the rest of humanity.
And not shoot people when you get older.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
That-
she
yeah.
doesn't know that's happening.
That's
though.
true.
She often let him stay home from school. On the occasion that he did go, she made him hurry home so he, quote, wouldn't get in with the other boys and do things they shouldn't do.
Oh, we got ourselves a little Bates Motel going on here. Does this guy have sex with his madre?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not in the official record. The Warren Commission
Would it be, though?
never addressed whether or not he banged his mom out.
If I was like if I was the judge guys or what are they? Who's up there? Is it judges or like senators or whatever? I'd be
The
like,
Warren Commission? Yeah, it was
Order
up-
in the court. Did you or did you not hook up with tu madre?
I plead the fifth because answering that question might incriminate me. And I didn't do it, though.
Did you incriminate your mother?
Guess what I didn't do is that probably, I think.
So you're saying you did?
I have there's no record that he actually did, or there's no record. Your question is not addressed by any of the research.
Lee Harvey Oswald, his mama.
Gun to your head. Did he? 5,
4, 3,
No.
2,
Okay.
1.
But they did fool around.
Ew.
That's my gun. That's my.
Third base Oswald. Gross.
That's my.
Finger blast.
That's my
You go
pulling
finger
in.
blast him.
Oh, gross.
My pulling into Dealey Plaza answer is no, but maybe a little inappropriate.
I'm gonna have to bug my friend that slept in his mom's bed till he was 11. This is
But Lee didn't need other boys to cause trouble. His favorite
Butley.
pastime, Butley. His
that's the best one. Butley.
His favorite pastime was to throw rocks at other kids on his way home from school.
I'm frustrated because I haven't fucked my mom for a week. Sorry, Mom. That was gross.
Sorry,
Mom.
Mom.
Sorry, Mumsies.
Also, I'm going to say sorry to any baby boomer for whom this story is traumatic because you remember where you were when this whole thing happened.
Fuck that. What is it? You're going to pander to triggered people? Nah, fuck you. Grow up. People live hard lives. You want to tell
It was,
the story?
it was 50 years ago or whatever, 60 years. I don't know how time passes.
55 years ago.
55 years
Oh,
ago.
you still need more time, you fucking pussies? Go on with your story, Slaton. We're not pandering to that
If he
shit.
couldn't find a rock, anything would do. He once threw a knife at his brother in front of company, which Mother explained by saying, they have these little scuffles all the time.
That's cute, though. I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, could you please pass the mac and cheese?
Things got worse when his brothers left home for military service, and Mom and Lee moved to New York City
Oh, yeah.
for a
pal.
while.
To go get a slice?
Yeah, that's the whole reason they went.
That's why I go to New York. That's the first time I had ricotta cheese on pizza. I was like, this city is all right.
For a while, they lived with with his brother and his new wife. But then the wife asked Lee to lower the volume on the television.
And he
Big mistake.
shot her?
That's a big mistake.
So he pulled out a knife.
Are you serious?
Got this knife thing working. I didn't really
What a fucking weirdo. That's a weird thing to be like, you want me to turn the TV down? Like, just turn the TV down. You're chilling at somebody's house.
When Mother told him to put it away, he punched her in the face.
He punched his mom?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they are dating.
I know.
That's how he actually started dating his mom. He's like, take a chance. Go ask her. See?
Come
He had the little-
on. You know you love me.
Jiminy Cricket
You
on
tell
his
me that every
shoulder?
night before I go to sleep.
Jiminy Cricket on his shoulder?
Nothing
Here.
says I love you like a right hook to the jaw. I mean, that's just what it is.
They moved to the Bronx, where he missed 47 of 64 school days.
Oh, yeah. I'm starting to think this guy's kind of cool.
Punk rock.
Carrying a knife around, dating his mom, skipping
out of
class.
school.
Yeah,
This guy's
classic
got it going
rebel.
on. He's got it going
Yeah.
on.
Whoa, fuck, he's got a leather jacket. The Fonz over here, huh?
At his next school, he simply refused to go. It got so bad that the courts forced him to spend 3 weeks under psychological evaluation. The report concluded that he was, quote, intensely self-centered, and that he discussed his life in, quote, a non-participating fashion.
What does that mean? Like as a third party?
Yes.
Oh,
But he-
he's not
so he
into
ref-
he's participating in his own life. Is what he's
Yeah.
Refer to himself in third person? Like Oswald, when he was 3, Oswald, like he would basically read his life like you're reading the
I don't
story?
know exactly what his verbiage was, but they said that like he would talk about his life as if someone else had lived it.
So he was self-centered and he talked about his life as so he should be a stand-up comedian.
And that he, quote, had a vivid fantasy life
Ooh, that sounds
turning
pretty hot.
around the topics of omnipotence and power.
What does that mean? Okay, so he's into S&M. He wanted to be tied up and have his balls stepped on by a woman in high heels.
Yes, that's what that means.
Right?
Definitely
Omnipotence and power.
Definitely what that means.
What's omnipotence mean? Does that mean everywhere or overall power? Omnipotence.
Oh, yeah, overall power.
Omnipresence.
is being everywhere.
Omnipotence means
Yeah, that you got
power
it
over
going on,
everything.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
That you just look at your mom and she's like, "What's up?"
I think
What does power mean? What's power?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that one up.
I usually do the vocabulary for the show beforehand, but forgot. When asked if he preferred the company of boys or girls, he said, quote, "I dislike everybody."
that's fucking hilarious.
That's strong. Make
Yeah.
a statement, right?
Yeah, it'd be a cool Instagram T-shirt campaign right there.
I dislike everybody.
Yeah, I can
Dislike
see that.
everybody, yeah.
like what a hipster shop in LA would have those.
Bring
Sure.
everyone together, just like everyone.
Yeah, gay, straight, and then it would be crossed out and say, "I dislike everybody." That'd be cool. I'd wear that.
So, of course, they released him and sent him to his 9th different school. But things got so bad.
What would he have to say for them to not release him then? Because it sounds like all the red flags are up in the air, right? He likes power and doesn't like everyone. That's
but
a dangerous combo.
But he's
pulling knives out on people.
but I got
Red
stuff to
flags.
do. I'm
He's
not
kind of
gonna.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
Just finding his way.
Also, like, it's boring talking to this kid. I got shit to do. So why don't you go back to school?
Yeah,
and-
let's interview Manson again.
Sometimes you need 10 schools to find the right one.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, that's true. Es verdad.
Things got so bad, the courts ordered Lee to a home for disturbed boys. Mother decided then that the courts of New York were the real problem.
She might be right, but still.
Probably. I've heard those New York courts, always getting people into trouble.
Except for the New York basketball courts is where I cut my teeth.
Yeah, you know what
You know
it
what I'm saying?
is.
Rucker Park, top of the food chain.
Woo!
So she grabbed her baby boy, now 14, and they fled back to New Orleans.
Back to the Big Easy.
Now Lee ran the roost. He would get home from school, stand on top of the stairs by his room, and scream for his mother to bring him food.
Cheesy Poofs! Mom!
Mom, the meatloaf! What other references can
And
we
she
do
would-
with her
and she
from
would-
10 to 15 years ago?
She'd bring it to him too?
Oh, she would drop everything and just
Doesn't
bring
she
him the
realize she's
food.
enabling him? She's teaching him that that's okay. That's a way to communicate?
I think, I'm just guessing here, I think she doesn't realize that.
No.
That's what I'm
She's
guessing.
clearly a dumb parent that should have been educated before spawning these asshole children.
Yeah, why didn't she take the state-mandated parental education and child psychology courses that we have to make sure everyone's a
Right?
good mom and dad in this country?
Right?
true. Yeah.
They could do that, dude.
She could have
Mr.
just done
Rogers
that.
and Einstein would have put together a pretty decent evaluation system. I'm just saying.
Hindsight is 20/20, isn't it? It's
It is,
unbelievable.
for sure.
Yeah.
Hindsight sounds like a very German thing.
Yeah,
Hindsight. Yeah.
hindsight.
Hindsight.
It's a category on Pornhub.com.
Ooh, that sounds hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, German Pornhub? Sign me up.
The other kid, a family friend tried to help out by taking Lee on a short fishing trip. The other kids would, of course, throw the small fish back and keep the big ones to eat.
Lee would eat all of them in front of them and spit the guts into his friends' faces.
That is actually less disturbing than what he actually did.
He stuffed them
I
in
mean, he
his
used his
butt.
knife.
What did he do?
His knife has to come back.
So we have
Got the knife?
okay.
He pulled his knives on fish? What a dick.
Take the minutes right now. We have the knife. We have these knife over here. What do you got? What's going on?
He put the fish in his butt. He put the fish in his butt.
Put the butt. Anything better than fish in the butt? We have over the fish in the butt going once. Fish in the butt going twice. Fish in the butt.
He kissed the fish.
He kissed the fish. That's less than fish in the butt.
He
Sir,
cut,
you
he
have
cut the
to-
heads off the fish, then he chewed them up, and then he spit them back in his mouth. He threw it up, and then he swallowed it out of the bucket.
He jerked the fish off.
Fish don't have dicks, dude. Do they, Doug?
He fingered the fish.
Did fish
Oh,
have-
you can finger dicks. You can finger fish. Did he put them in his urethra? Did he open up his urethra with a funnel from an oil change from a car
Lee-
and then put the little fish into it? And then they swam around for a while, and then he made a YouTube video that got like 300 million hits in Japan
Lee set every catch by his feet,
and stomped on them?
and when he was done, he just walked away.
What does that mean?
Every time he caught a fish, he just lined it up on the ground in front of his feet, big, small, no matter what. And then he didn't eat him. He didn't throw him back. He just finished fishing and was like, I'm done now.
It's like his trademark.
I'm finished. And then he walked away
Wow.
from all the fish.
Like kind of a psychopath. It was like, so you're
It's
not going to eat
just-
the meat. You're just going to kill the fish.
It's just dark. It's
Yeah, that is
just dark.
That's so Lee. That's so Lee.
That's so Lee.
That's so Lee. That'd
It
be a
is
great show.
So
That is so Lee.
That's so Lee.
Who cares about Raven? Let's see. Let's watch That's So Lee.
So Lee.
As a teenager, Lee developed two major interests: guns and communism.
Okay.
Your chocolate's in my peanut butter.
This
That's
guy,
right. That's,
this guy should be staying away from all this stuff. But
He owned a fake plastic .45 caliber, but he wanted a real one. So he put together a plan to steal one from a store using a glass cutter, but ditched the idea when he figured out that he might get caught. So then he read a collection of communist literature. He looked around town for a communist cell he could sign up with, but he didn't find one. So he solved both of his problems by trying to join the Marines.
This guy's a fucking idiot.
This guy is just...
I hate America and American values. I love communism. I'm going to join the military.
He is focused.
It's just weird. They infiltrate our military. You're like, who are these people getting in there?
But despite Mother agreeing to lie about his age, the Corps realized he was a kid and turned him away. In the fall of 1955, he started high school, but dropped out almost immediately, giving the school a forged note from Mom saying they were moving to San Diego.
Wait, he gave the school? Ooh, that would be a great place to move, though. San Diego?
From Dallas?
Oh, yeah, dude. The Mexican food's better in San Diego. Guaranteed.
Certainly, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Look,
Less
Texas,
corn.
I will defend Texas in many culinary issues.
But not Mexican food.
Not that Tex-Mex stuff. I'm sorry. Baja beats you out, bruh.
It does. Although I've had good Tex-Mex.
Sure, there's good Tex-Mex.
On average, you put a blindfold over your eyes and spin around in a circle, you're going to have, on average, a better experience of just going to any direction Mexican restaurant in San Diego than putting a blindfold on and spinning around and going to any Tex-Mex place in Texas. And that's coming from a guy that has never been to Texas. Go on with your stories, Slaton.
It was a half lie, because 1 year later, on October 18th, 1956, Lee turned 17. On the 26th...
Lee's only 17. Lee's only 17. I'd love to see that Winger video cut with them saying Lee.
It's cut, but the video is of Lee and his mom, like going on weird dates and stuff.
just like
He's only 17.
It's just a weird, like an awkward teenage dude with a communist flag hanging out of his back pocket, holding a rifle with his arm around his mom. Oh, Lee.
On the 26th, he reported for duty at the Marine Corps Recruiting Depot in San Diego. Shockingly, he did not fit in with his fellow soldiers.
Wait, I thought you said he forged a note. He actually went to San Diego?
So he forged a note to drop out of school, spent a year like just goofing off, working some odd jobs.
Yeah.
And then a year later, he went to San Diego.
He really did go to San Diego.
He did go to San Diego.
So even Lee, even though he's crazy, he still knew.
It was a half lie.
He still knew about the chili reno burritos, even though he's crazy.
You know what's up? California burrito, dog.
Don't forget to get sour cream. Not every place puts them in there automatically.
So he did not fit in with his fellow soldiers, who, because
No
of his
shit.
quiet and meek attitude, gave him the nickname Aussie Rabbit.
Aussie Oswald. I was thinking he's not
yeah.
from Australia. Aussie Rabbit.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool little treat.
He was soon shipped out to Japan, where he worked on a radar unit. He did shine in one respect, and that is marksmanship.
Ah. Oh. Look at that. He's a good shot.
2 months into his service, Lee qualified as a sharpshooter with the M1 rifle, the second highest rating in the Marines. It meant he could hit a 10-inch bullseye from 200 yards 8 out of 10 times.
That is fucking badass, though.
Now, as a quick note, he did test he got a 212 as a score this time around. A few years later, he retested on a 196 and got downgraded from sharpshooter to something else.
Because he fucking didn't wait for his heartbeat to go by?
Something like that.
Lee!
But I'll tell you this, his aim was so good that he even managed to shoot himself in the elbow.
You mean with a ricochet? Or
No.
Did he drop a rifle?
Like he shot himself in the elbow and he didn't miss. Which is like that's.
What are you talking about right now?
Well, he took a gun and then he put it up to his arm.
Oh, he like went crazy and was like, "What would happen if I just blew my elbow off?"
Yeah. He just shot him. He shot himself in the elbow.
Was Lee into
He
smoking
nailed it.
PCP?
I hope so.
Was he into
that would make the
drugs?
story way more sensible.
Did Lee do drugs?
I hope so.
There's no record in here that says he did do drugs.
Then that means
he hasn't even started
records?
drinking yet. So there you go.
I think he had a light heroin habit, but just manageable.
Just a little
manageable.
Yeah, you know, like that sort of. I work at KPMG or JP Morgan Chase type of heroin habit.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
After his arm healed, he was temporarily transferred to the Philippines and put on boring, laborious kitchen duty. He was later court-martialed for possessing an unauthorized gun, demoted, and given 20 days hard labor.
He had a gun in the kitchen.
No, the gun
Did
that
you put the stakes on, Lee? He's like,
the
sure.
gun he shot himself in the elbow with was not. It was a pistol he wasn't supposed to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He didn't like rifle himself in the.
It's like you join the military. Whoa, we don't got enough guns for you? You got to bring your own guns from home?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, just take
What
our
is it,
guns.
show and tell?
We got plenty of guns here.
Yeah, look at that. That one's really big. You can shoot a whole whale with that one.
It's like the old saying, like, you don't bring sand to the beach, you don't bring guns to the army.
I bring sand to the beach. What's weird about that?
You're just like Lee.
His relationship with his fellow Marines continued to get worse. When they went out bar hopping and chasing
What, you
tail-
guys don't fuck your mothers too? Guys, where you going?
No, we were all shooting ourselves on the elbows.
Guys, come on. It's like when you give yourself a little tattoo on your arm when you're in a little Latin gang, you shoot your elbow when you're in the Marines. You guys aren't communists. What?
When they went out bar hopping and chasing tail, he stayed in the barracks and read. For that great offense, the other soldiers called him Mrs. Oswald and threw him in the shower fully clothed.
Oh my God, wait, can that turn someone into a murderer? Because I have definitely been guilty of calling Misters Missuses before.
You misgendering piece of shit.
Well, I had a boss that I used to call Big Mama.
Okay.
Back in the day, I worked at a tattoo shop, and I used to call the boss Big Mama. It used to make him a little upset. But
What was it like working for Martin Lawrence? Is that who that was, or is that who played Big Mama?
That would be an awesome movie. Martin Lawrence.
No. Big
Yeah.
Mama was.
That's Martin.
That was Martin.
That's
Was
Martin.
it?
That was Martin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
swap
thought
it with
that
another
was,
famous black guy. You racial fucking
I don't know why I thought.
generalizing
I
asshole.
don't know why I thought that the Big Mama series
Was Puff Daddy? I know, me too.
Yeah, I thought it was Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy.
I thought it was Ice Cube for a while.
Well, Ice Cube would never go for that shit, dude. He's too busy making movies about babies driving minivans.
I don't know why I thought it was.
Sidney Poitier?
Yes, Sidney Poitier. In one of his best roles.
That would be amazing. Sidney Poitier's Big Mama.
Big Mama, starring Sidney Poitier.
Oh, dude.
And Sidney Poitier.
Dude,
and Sidney Poitier.
After Donald Glover does the Lethal Weapon reboot that we're gonna sell.
Oh, the
then he
Chris
also
Pine.
he does a reboot of Big Mama's House. Donald Glover.
That's our big plan is to redo Lethal Weapon. Donald Glover plays Martin Riggs, and Chris Pine plays Murtaugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see where
That's our idea. And Justin Bieber plays the Gary Busey role.
Well, Justin Bieber can do anything.
Yeah. I added Justin Bieber in just now. Sorry about changing the plan at you last second.
You know what? As soon as the check clears, you can add whoever you want. I'll right away.
After a few months of teasing, Lee finally had enough. It was time to do something. So he tried to fit in.
That's resilient. Lee Harvey Oswald's resilient.
Oh,
Nothing
yeah.
else. Nothing else.
No, not a quitter, tell you that much. He sees things through.
He tore his communist poster off the wall.
First, he tried being the funny guy. Which was a
Don't
problem.
you hate it when you're hanging out with your mom and you want a bone, but she's like, I got a headache. Guys, where are you going? Guys.
Guys, there's no refunds. It says it on the entrance. There was a problem that he didn't have a sense of humor. So that kind of ruined that plan.
Yeah.
So he switched to being the party guy, heading out to the fellows to drink at bars. He even had sex with a girl in a bar while his new friends cheered him on.
Oh,
And
fuck.
his mother wept in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the weird part about it. They're like, what's this broad doing here ruining the mood?
All this stuff that Lee has done, though, where you're like, what a fucking dork. You're like, he was able to keep hard while boning in a bar with his friends watching? That takes
impressive.
some chutzpah,
Yeah.
right?
Now
Does it say whether he stayed hard in the whole? Did he come?
I'm gonna
That really does change the story, though. Like, if he didn't come, he'd be like,
Yeah,
he just tried to have sex in a
Yeah.
bar, and he had whiskey dick, and he was nervous, and then they stopped, and they were like, yeah,
Did he
that's good.
tie it to a straw and just jam it in? Like, what? How did he make it happen?
Or if he had a collection of cock rings on his keychain, and he put them on, and he was like, I can stay hard for hours with this thing.
Lee, now full of a sudden bravado, took advantage of his newfound confidence and confronted the officer who he blamed for his harsh punishment over the shooting himself thing.
He walked in with lobster stance. I'm confidently.
For the listeners, Jonathan Shefsky just moved his shoulders a whole lot.
That's right. That's lobster stance.
He found the officer in a cafe, poured a drink over his head, and challenged him to a fight.
That's hilarious. He poured a drink over as the officer's sitting there.
Yeah.
I did that when I was like 6. I poured a milk on a kid's head once.
Dope.
Who wouldn't acknowledge me. I was trying to riff with him. I was like 5 or 6. And it was just me and him in a room at a daycare, and I just poured it on his head.
I am actually shocked you never done that to me when I did not want to riff with you.
I'm in my 30s now, and now I just go, all right, okay. And I walk away slowly.
Military police broke it up before they come to blows, but Lee was court-martialed again and given 28 days in the brig, where he was required to stand at attention at all times unless sleeping or eating.
Oh, my God. Like, while he's awake, he just has to stand at attention? Mm-hmm. What if your knees give out?
Get new knees, bitch.
Or can you sleep? Can you just sleep the whole day then? Or just fake sleep? You could learn to meditate really well.
If he wanted to go to the bathroom, he had to scream his request over and over until the guards decided to allow it.
Captain! I got a shit coming!
Oh my God, dude, this guy just won't stop fucking yapping over here.
How much is one guy supposed to take?
I gotta poop! Permission to poop, sir!
Hey, can you turn up the volume on the record player? This guy's really starting to give me a fucking headache.
Permission to piss!
I'm not gonna break. I hate this fucking guy.
Pissing!
Are you pissing?
Permission to wipe, sir!
God damn it.
Back to front, front to back!
Always right back to front.
Hey, Captain!
In September of 1958, Lee's unit was transferred to Taiwan. Days after their arrival. Yeah, get some toys.
That's why they make giant bicycles.
Days after their arrival, he had a total breakdown and began firing his rifle at shadows in the nearby jungle.
He's warming up.
yeah.
Lee's warming up.
That's or his first sign of going insane. What was that? What was that? What was that?
When officers finally arrived, they found him collapsed against a tree, shaking and crying.
Like any good guy at the rifle range after he runs out of ammo. Those rounds are like $1 each nowadays. You cry after you shoot a few of them.
His meltdown earned him a new Marine nickname, Bugs, because he bugged out.
Oh,
Marines are super creative in this era with their nicknames.
their nicknames are pretty good.
Yeah.
got
Oh, what are you, a Jew? Your nickname is Jew. Jew guy. Gotcha.
Can't you just name me after the state that I'm from?
Hey, see how Mike is kind of fat?
It's Michael.
We should call him Fats because I got ideas.
I'm from New York. Can you just call me York?
Nah. Fats is your name now
No. You see,
because it's more obvious.
but you named Houston, Texas. Come on. Can you just name me after the state?
Yeah, that's because of his accent though. We could name you Jew too because your accent's kind of Jewy.
Okay. Does anyone have anything to eat?
All right, Fats.
Hey.
He was sent back to Japan to recuperate, where he stood out even more by railing against U.S. imperialism and referring to other soldiers as "you Americans."
That's pretty funny.
That's good.
I do that
good.
every now and then. I just call people Earthlings. So that's kind of I can relate to Oswald.
He was soon shipped home to serve the remainder of his term. Back in the States, Leo no longer gave a shit what anyone in the Marines thought about him. He spoke out on his renewed interest
Communism.
in communism. He subscribed to a Russian language newspaper and blasted Russian records as loud as he could.
What a fucking dork. How can you look at communism and be like, this seems like a good plan? Like 30 million people died from it, right? And that was just yesterday.
Have you never been to Berkeley?
We're going to lose a couple listeners, Slaton.
Oh, yes, listeners who haven't already tuned out because they're offended by all our cum
By
jokes.
everything. Oh, yeah.
This is offensive. This is offensive now. That's
Anybody in
offensive.
Berkeley who's still listening is fucking
It's
down
fucking
with the clown for the
badass,
show.
yeah. There's some cool people in Berkeley, dude. There's some cool people in Berkeley.
Instead of saying yes and no, he used da and yet.
What a
Bilingual.
fucking dork.
Bilingual.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's boilingual.
It's like that guy who comes back from living in Britain and is like, oh, you want to come over to my flat? And you're like, fuck you in the mouth.
Why'd you take the piss out of me? I was just inviting you over for a little tea.
Oh, I hate you. He also greeted other people with hello, comrade. So he was
That's
just being
funny, though.
That was
fucking-
good, though. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
that's
Hello,
right.
comrade's nice. Hello, comrade's
That's
nice.
a vote. All in favor of saying comrade in this room? Say aye.
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 I'm reporting both of you.
I'm not a communist. How dare you?
He even went as far to get a special set of red pieces to play chess, which he named his Red Army.
What book did he read that said communism? It's pretty cool.
Actually, here's 3 of the books he was reading.
Okay, thank you.
Das Kapital, Animal Farm, and Mein Kampf.
Wait a second. Animal Farm.
I thought,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
Is
you
that
said
George
early
Orwell
draft of
book?
Animal House, but I guess it's just,
Yeah, early draft.
That would have changed history. If he would have just read Animal House, everything would have been fine.
People can fuck in college? Man, I should really get out of the army.
That's one of my favorite movies. Let me just go back to this. The George Orwell book, Animal Farm, convinced them that communism was a good thing.
Yeah,
Okay, that's an interesting place
4
to take
legs
that.
good, 2 legs better.
exactly. Dope.
Interesting.
You know, everyone's equal except others are more equal, you know?
Oh, that's freaking weird. Okay, and then Mein Kampf,
Yeah.
because Hitler was a socialist.
Yeah, I guess.
This guy Oswald, he's starting to get a little weird.
He declared, I think the best religion is communism.
I thought you were going to say, methinks the best religion is communism.
Methinks. If anyone tried to challenge his views on the Soviet Union, he rejected any information as propaganda.
While he's just totally taking in a bunch of fucking propaganda.
Hold on, you're talking shit about communism? Allow me to put down my copy of Mein Kampf and tell you about the American propaganda machine we all know is so horrific.
That sounds like how most conspiracy thinkers think, though. It's like, you are so full of shit, and you're just reading it. You're buying into all this stuff. And like, aren't you buying into something right
This
now?
video was clearly doctored that definitely shows that I'm wrong.
Well, speaking of doctors, if we were communists, you could go to one for free.
If anyone tried to challenge his views, I said that already. His antics earned him yet another Marine nickname,
Commie puss.
Oswaldskovich.
That one's got a little oomph.
That's the best one they've done so far.
I'll go with that one.
Of the ones they've done so far, that's the one that seems to have a
could
little
be
bit of
good.
play to it.
That's great.
That should be played by John Malkovich again. Oskovich Malkovich.
Oskovich Malkovich.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oswaldkovich is a Being Oswaldkovich is a movie about this guy who finds a little cupboard that if you walk into it, you just get rations for the rest of your life. Yeah. So, yeah, that's weird, huh? On September 11th, 1959.
Whoa, September 11th?
I know,
You're turning
right?
me into a conspiracy
No.
theorist.
Oh, now it's all coming together.
Oh, Ficht.
Lee received a hardship discharge from the Marines so he could take care of Mother, who was now disabled after a jar of candy fell off a shelf and hit her in the nose.
This does sound like Psycho. This could be like the beginnings of Psycho.
Right? It kind of is.
If that sounds like bullshit, you're correct. Mom was fine, but she sent in documents claiming otherwise to get her boy back home.
So he is bred from a total liar as well. So she's willing to just lie to the whole, the balls.
A lot of deceit going on here.
The balls to lie to the military.
She had to visit several different doctors before she found one willing to write a note supporting her story.
Oh, please.
What did she have to do to get that note? That's what I don't know.
Well,
What
but
did
no,
she
but
have to get that note?
Don't tell her boyfriend, Lee Harvey.
Yeah, she wasn't going to cheat. She's a faithful woman. Didn't you get that?
No, maybe she did what Forrest Gump's mom did so he could get into school.
I see
she made
that.
sweet love to the doctor.
On vacation.
Please write a sick note for me. Just say a jar fell on my head so I could get my boy out of the army. Well,
What a coincidence. My
dick's dry right now.
The only thing that turns me on is dropping jars of candy on faces. So this works out really well.
That's a weird way to say money shot, Slaton. Oh, dude, dropping a jar of candy on her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude. My wife's going to like that one. Can I just drop a jar of candy on your face right now?
Could be a new term right there.
Oh, it's kind of hot.
Dude, you drop any jars last night?
Dude, that's fucking weird, but yeah.
That is so discomforting.
It really is.
Discomforting. I'll even use that one.
Discomforting. CUMFARTING.
Discomforting. Discomforting.
This is very discomforting to hear. Which comforting? Discomforting. All right, go on with your story. It's getting weird. Sorry again, Mom and Dad.
She was more than surprised when he arrived 3 days later, only to tell her that he was leaving. He'd been accepted to a school in Switzerland and planned to board a ship immediately to start working for an import-export business on his way there.
Was he lying to her?
That was a lie.
Yep.
Yes, he'd been accepted to a school in Switzerland, but he'd only enrolled because his Marine Reserve duty restricted him from international travel with a few exceptions, one of them being education. The truth was that this was part of a larger plan, one that he thought would make him famous and revered in the history books. He was defecting to the Soviet Union.
Oh my God.
There it is.
These delusions of grandeur always affect these people where they think they're going to be part of some sort of history book. There's some sort of need to be written somewhere. You
I'm going to be
that?
super awesome.
Yeah, it's the weird mausoleum, Roman thing where you're like, it's more important that I'm remembered than I live in the experience now. I have to be remembered for something. So
that's why I'm trying hardest to stay anonymous so that I can be a good person.
But we're podcasters, Slaton.
Oh,
we're
shit,
going down
people-
in the history books. I don't know if you know that,
man.
But I'm talking about this crazy motherfucker. They seem to want to fucking go and do you notice that where they're like, I'll be remembered for this. You're like, well, get over yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
It's kind of a boring move to make, anyways.
the world needs ditch diggers too, Danny.
Right? That is a good lecture to give this kid.
On October 16th, 1959,
Just 15 days before Halloween.
Lee arrived in Moscow on a 6-day visa. Good math, by the way.
Hola, comrades.
Ready to be greeted with open arms as an important member of the communist regime.
Well, the Russians are a beautiful people. You could expect that it would be pretty nice to go there.
On the 17th, he informed his guide of his intent to defect. On the 18th, she gave him a birthday present, a copy of Dostoevsky's novel, The Idiot.
I don't know how I'd take that.
About a good, simple, and naive prince who gets taken advantage of by nearly everyone he meets.
Oh, as a warning, don't come over here thinking that Russia's going to welcome you. They're just going to rape you and take all your cash. Is that what she was saying?
On the 21st, they denied his application and told him to leave.
On the 21st of October, they denied your application.
If my math's right, that's 10 days before Halloween.
Right?
I think.
Wow.
I
We should basically, I base everything off a Halloween clock, just like I base monetary stuff off of sushi.
Instead of leaving, he slit one of his wrists.
One of them? What a half-ass killer selfer.
There's also a debate as to whether he really tried to kill himself or whether he was
trying to hook up with a chick.
Yeah,
I'm dying!
trying to bang it out.
Oh, yeah, he read Mein Kampf, so he combed his
Yeah.
hair like all emo like Hitler, and then he's
Probably.
cutting himself up. I want to die!
This is so not fair.
Oh, I love you, baby.
Come on.
You're like my mom in Russia.
That what you wrote in that book, that meant a lot to me.
Come on, that book it taught me that people are dumb and we're not those people.
Hell yeah.
I need a Russian mommy.
But the KGB, being adamant about getting their idiot out of the country, found him at his hotel, took him to a hospital where he made a full recovery. While they tried to decide what to do with him, Lee marched over to the U.S. Embassy, declared he was a Marxist, threw his passport on the desk, and told them of his intent to give the Soviets everything he knew about being a Marine radar operator.
Whoa.
Wow.
He told them that, so he was hoping that they would be like, "Get down on the ground. You're under arrest."
The American consul told him to come back on Monday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is like a failure of like our system. Like,
Now, here's
right now
why.
is a warning.
Right
Like,
through the
fucking
cracks.
call
Through
the
the
fucking
cracks.
call the military police and right now handcuff this fucking guy. He's a threat to security. But instead they're like,
Well,
"Get out of here, you drunk."
two things. One, he's not. He's such a low level nothing. He's not a threat to any security. He knows he has no real information that would
Okay.
be useful to the Russians.
Okay.
And secondly, the guy who was working at the embassy had just dealt with some young American guy who was also around 20 years old who tried to defect and then like changed his mind and how annoying it was trying to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "You're fucking 20. You don't know what you want.
That's true. I
Come
mean,
back
yeah.
on Monday if you really want to defect."
Yeah. Okay.
And then he leaves.
Go drink some vodka and find a Russian lady and have a good time.
Yeah,
And then
well,
tell us what you. But that actually would make me want to stay in Russia. I'd be like, now I really want to defect.
vodka and ladies.
And they have great food too.
In the latest issue of Red Times. Isn't that his
Yeah.
magazine, right?
Is that one of their books? Red
Oh, it
Times.
sounds like it should be.
Right?
If not,
Yeah, every article is just about how cool the new plaid buildings are.
There's only one journalist because
Yeah.
everyone else is in jail or dead.
Yeah.
You get like a Brezhnev calendar or something.
This guy writes so many articles.
Lee stayed in his hotel for 3 months trying.
stressful.
Oh yeah, he didn't come back on Monday. just so you know.
office. Oh, he didn't?
No, he did not.
Come back on Monday? That's so American and capitalist. We don't have weekdays in Russia.
Every day is just day.
That's right. It's a good day, too.
What day is it today?
I'm
you
gonna-
know, day.
It's day, which rhymes with gray, which is the color of everything.
Lee stayed in his hotel for 3 months, trying mostly unsuccessfully to learn Russian.
How did he get the money to stay in a hotel for 3 months?
The government put him up. The Russian government was like, just fucking stay in there because we're dealing with you. There's some context here. Russia and the U.S. were in some negotiations trying to avoid the Cold War escalation.
Okay. That's pretty important.
And they didn't want to forcibly deport him and have like bad press about it.
Yeah, that's
so they were
smart.
like, just fucking stay in this hotel until we figure out what to do with you.
Yeah, note to listeners, if ever you need a free stay at a hotel, right, just piss off a government and they'll let you stay in a hotel for free.
Finally, the
Airbnb
KG
for 2 months because I said I fucking hate Egypt. It was great. All the air conditioning I want, I got room service. All they did was whip me when I got out.
Finally, the KGB got back to him. He could stay in Russia as a, quote, stateless person.
What does that mean?
Means he's like not a citizen of anything. He can just stay here and be
Gotta
a
wander around.
just be a nothing. Be what you are, which is nothing.
But then you can't get a job or anything.
That's it.
Well, instead of attending Moscow State University like he wanted to, he would be sent. He was sent to the small industrial city of Minsk. He was given an apartment, a small apartment, rent free, and a job at a local factory.
Rent free.
Wow.
I gotta.
But a factory job.
Well, they
defect.
are-
I could defect to Russia. This
Yeah.
is good stuff.
But Doug, it was a factory job. I mean, this is... You don't want a factory job, right?
Laverne and Shirley could do it. I could do it.
That's true. But,
For a-
but in Russia, Laverne and Shirley in Russia, oh, it's a very cold show. Very cold.
For a while, as the only American defector,
No, that sounds very Jew. Get it out of here.
for a while as the only American defector in town, he was a minor celebrity. He made $150 a month, which was very good money by Soviet standards,
Communism really working out good for you, right, Oswald? You fucking dick.
which he spent on dates, trips to the countryside, and a 16-gauge shotgun.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to him,
So you could just buy guns in Russia?
yeah, but he sold it. He sold it for like 16 rubles, so like a week or two later when he got bored with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I didn't know you could just buy guns there with, all that communism.
yeah. You just buy a gun.
Oh.
Yeah,
So we can have guns with communism?
Yeah.
Well, I guess communism's all right then.
commie guns.
Commie guns.
It's a commie gun is what it is. It rapid fires the little red book at you.
Oh, I was thinking that instead of having like the round thing, the circular clip, it had a clip that was shaped like a sickle and the half moon thing.
I like that. Unbeknownst to him, many of Lee's new friends were actually KGB agents,
And it shoots potato bullets.
keeping an eye on their new neighbor, as it was somewhat implausible that an American was actually defecting.
They're like, are they sure they have McDonald's and freedom of speech?
You have Elvis. Why would you come here?
Yes. We don't have Elvis. We have Vladimir.
Have you
and
ever
he is
seen
very
poodle
depressed.
skirt? You could see women's ankles.
He-
It's not cold all the time. Why would you come here? I don't get it.
you can't compare. Yeah, I guess you can.
Drive-in movie. You can make out with women. No problems.
I think they make out with women in Russia all the time, actually.
Not back then.
There's a website called Russian Makeouts, and they kiss a lot.
But after a few months, everyone it was soon apparent to everyone that Lee was nothing special.
Oh man, he's just getting treated just like he was in the Marines, where
Yeah.
they made fun of him.
Is a
And
nickname coming up? They're gonna have give a nickname for him.
You know what? They
Niet.
did, instead of calling, they thought Lee sounded too Chinese, so they called him Alec. They just renamed him Alec. You'll name him Alec now.
And he's like, it's not Alec. My name is Lee.
No,
it is Alec.
You're Alec.
Everyone's like, okay, hello, Alec. My name is Lee.
Hello, Alec.
I am Lee.
No,
I'm Lee.
Alec.
No. I'm Lee.
Alec.
No, I'm Lee.
Definitely not.
And then like someone walks by, hello, Alec.
Damn it! Oh no, I'm actually upset. Your name is Lee now.
Yeah, no, I'm Lee.
No, you're Alec.
I hate this town.
Who's on
I
first?
thought communists were gonna totally accept me.
At summer, I think I told the story on the show before, but at summer camp there was a guy named Joe, and we just decided that we were gonna change his name to Bill.
Yeah.
And we convinced everyone at the summer camp to start calling him Bill.
And now he's a
And then he
killer
became
in
Bill.
jail.
Yeah. He murdered a lot of people.
See what happens? See what you people do?
After a few, they figure out he's a fucking boring dude. Now he was just another factory worker in a boring town in the Soviet Union. He soon realized that his salary was useless, as there was nowhere in town to actually spend it. His supervisors noted that his work was deteriorating. He's developing an attitude. For some reason, a man with a lifetime of issues with authority wasn't doing well in communist Russia.
You fucking idiot. We tried to tell you. Anyone that likes communism, if you're listening, it's just as bad as any other kind of fascism.
After just over a year, he wrote the U.S. Embassy saying he wanted to return
I
home.
want to come back. I miss my mom.
They wrote back saying he needed to come pick up his passport in person. But there was a problem. He couldn't travel to Moscow without permission from the KGB.
Oh, the communism's a little too strict for you,
too
Lee. You're not able to just fucking move around with a little freedom.
Come on, baby boy, you really want to go somewhere?
Oh, maybe now you get what you fucking deserve, huh?
Listen to music that doesn't have like opera singing in it, and it's also in English. Oh
You
my
made
God.
your fucking red bed. Now sleep in it.
You want a hamburger?
We don't have hamburgers, all right?
No.
What do they have there? We have potato latkes.
We just have potatoes between potatoes.
Potato burgers?
Also, our vodka is made of potatoes.
That's true. Although there is some really tasty potatoes.
I like Red Bed. It's a good title for something.
Right?
Red Bed.
I
Major
mean,
Red Bed.
It could be a good like what John Grisham like spy novel. Red
Yeah.
Bed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very
Red Bed.
sexy.
While he tried to undo his defection by mail, Lee met a girl. Marina Prusakova
You are so handsome, Alec.
That sounds like a tennis champion to me.
Oh yeah.
was a beautiful 19-year-old pharmacology student.
Oh my God, she's got mushrooms and she's in Russia. Oh my God.
They dated a little over a month, and then they got married.
When you know, you know.
Yeah, going to the Russia and I'm gonna get married.
While the quick nuptials might seem strange, there's an explanation. Lee was on the rebound from a failed proposal to a different girl 3 months before.
Oh God, he's a serial dater, folks.
And Marina was impressed by the fact that Lee had his own apartment.
The government gave it to him though,
Free
Marina.
apartment for the government, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how you get an apartment in Russia, is the
And a
government
girl.
gives you one.
And
Yeah,
get a girl.
So couldn't she have her own apartment too?
No,
Hi.
she wasn't an American defector.
So he's getting treated better
Then, yeah.
because they want to keep the relations good though.
Yeah, he's getting treated better because they don't know what the fuck's going on.
Can
They
I
don't
just
keep-
say a side note?
No. Yes. What's your question?
I can see where the conspiracy theorists start to get interested here.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff that like
Because-
interests.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he was in Russia for a long time. They were treating him all right. Something's going on.
There's a lot of weird things.
You know what
That's
I mean?
True. That's true. Almost immediately, Lee went to the American consulate and went and told them that he was now married and wanted to return home, provided that he would not be prosecuted for his failed attempt at defection. They told him to return on Monday.
See you Monday, Lee.
This time he did. On June 13th, 1962, Lee, Marina, and their new baby daughter finally arrived in the United States.
Oh,
Yeah.
everything worked out.
No harm, no foul.
Okay, came back.
Lee assumed that he would deplane to find a throng of reporters clamoring for his story.
Mr. Lee, what the fuck happened?
But there was no one there.
Oh, that didn't happen.
That did not happen at all.
Yeah, because he's still got
gets off the
delusions.
plane. He's like, "What's up, New York? Where the fuck is everybody?"
Sir, can you please put your hands down and just grab your baggage and exit the plane, please? Like
No,
the
but
rest
there's
of us?
supposed to be people here to because I'm really important.
Who are you, sir?
Oh wow.
Alec.
Is this going back to Russia by any chance?
No. So they need to clean the plane out. Could you please exit like the rest of the people? So this guy had a total delusion of grandeur.
Yeah, of course.
He's an insane person. But he's able to land
Seems
a
pretty
hot
normal to
Russian
me.
chick and have a kid. That's genetics for you, folks. You can be
Bro.
a total moron,
Bro.
but your nut still works,
Bro.
and people still love you.
Slamming
it's
it.
fucking weird.
They already did. They already did that part. But no one was there, so they boarded a plane, headed back to Texas, and moved in with one of his brothers. Back in Dallas, he received a number of calls from reporters wanting to cover his story. But he turned them down because he was so insulted that no one met him at the airport.
This guy's psycho.
Standing up for his principles.
That's true.
So I'm warming up to him.
If you wanted my story, you could have come to the airport. Now you want it? I don't want to give it to you. Click.
He briefly attempted to write a manuscript on his life in the USSR. He even hired a stenographer to do the actual typing. But he soon grew bored of the project. The stenographer thing is an interesting note because the Warren Commission repeatedly notes how bad his spelling was. Some people think he was dyslexic, but yeah,
Which lexic?
Dyslexic. Yeah. He tried to make friends with the local Russian immigrants, but was surprised to discover that they were mostly anti-communist.
No shit. Oh, this guy's like got a thick skull. He's kind of weird, right?
No, I think
He's got a fucking thick skull.
Seems pretty normal.
He's not picking up on a lot of signals.
He did make one friend, George de Mohrenschildt. I can't pronounce this ridiculous last.
Can I see it?
Sure, yeah. Go give it a shot. Give it a shot. It's at the bottom line.
Oh yeah, that's easy. George de Mohrenschildt.
You nailed it.
I don't know if I nailed it.
A wealthy, eccentric Russian with a reputation for showing up to black tie parties uninvited in nothing but a bathing suit.
So he's just a fun weirdo.
And trolling people by greeting them with Heil Hitler.
Oh my God, this guy's fucking hilarious.
But things didn't get better.
But things.
Yeah,
That one's good.
That's a fun one.
But things
did not get better. Lee, having not finished high school, had some difficulty finding and keeping a job.
Why don't you go back to Russia and take your factory job, you fucking commie?
Plus his recent jaunt to Russia, the FBI stopped by for a couple of interviews. While they determined he wasn't a threat, Lee assumed they were completely up his ass. So in Dallas in 1963...
Like he thinks he's being followed all the time and like all the paranoia that comes along with that shit? Okay.
He decided it was time to take matters into his own hands. He spent hours locked in his study, poring over maps of Dallas and the bus schedule. He took photos of points of interest, potential vantage points and escape routes. He wrote a small manifesto, detailing his reasons for his actions and proposals for a new society. He left a note to his wife containing instructions for what to do when he was gone. He purchased a mail-order second-hand 6.5 millimeter caliber rifle for $29.95, along with a revolver. He focused so much on his plan that his work suffered, even more than usual, and he was fired. 1 week later, he fired a shot from his rifle. His target was former General Edwin Walker, a staunch anti-communist and segregationist who had been relieved of duty for distributing right-wing literature to his troops. Whoa. After the army, he took on social activism, like going on a national tour to spread the word against Marxism and trying to prevent the first black student from enrolling in the University of Mississippi.
Can't say didn't keep busy. Can't say Lee didn't keep busy.
Oh my God.
Lee, viewing him as a leader of the fascist anti-communist movement, took a shot at him outside his home. But luckily for Walker, the bullet clipped the wooden frame in the middle of the window, putting it off just enough to miss his skull.
Wow. So Lee had he's taken his shot now. Mm-hmm. He's gone out there and tried to kill he hasn't done this yet.
No, this was the first.
This is like his preseason.
He pulled knives when he was younger.
Up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dude, he's like a fucking one of the school shooting kids where they have the delusions of like I'm gonna be remembered, or like the suicide bombers, like they're gonna say my name on the news. Yep. Like he wants to be famous as fuck.
He is
at all costs and doesn't care about human life and is psycho and
to be fair,
yes, let's be
the guy he shot at was like, hey, you know what's really important now that I left the army? Keeping blacks out of college.
Sure, no, I'm not saying the guy was a bad guy that he was trying to shoot, but also we live in a civil society. Even if someone is having insane stuff, you can't just go shooting whoever you want.
No, I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
So
we're on the same page. Don't shoot people, but if you do, make sure you keep a diary and stuff like that, so there's plenty of information for me to research for the story and stuff like that. You shouldn't shoot people, but if you're gonna take a pot shot at somebody, not the word like on the spectrum of who you're shooting at.
Yeah,
this guy's like a 6.5 or a 7.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna say.
I'm just saying, murdering's murdering. You should be careful with that.
Shouldn't murder anybody, but if you do, again, keep a detailed record of your life.
And we're pro letting blacks in college.
We're definitely at this point. At this point, we're down with it.
But then we screwed them over because of all the college debt that black people have. So you guys try to answer up to that.
I don't know.
Right? They would have been better off if we wouldn't have let black people into college. They wouldn't have all this fucking student loans.
Yeah, that's an argument.
So if you guys truly love black people, you'd be
don't let them into college.
Don't let them into college. That's right. Tell them to save and invest in the market.
The next morning, Marina found Lee dejected, sitting by the radio. I missed, he said, before showing her the 2 months of plans that had gone into the failed operation.
I just want to tell you, nothing will make your woman's pussy dry up faster than an assassin that misses. So don't tell her.
Yeah,
Just
I
know
know
that.
you missed.
Yeah.
You always miss.
That's right. When you tried to put the candy jar on my face last night, it landed up on the alarm clock.
Slightly miffed that her husband was trying to kill people.
Slightly miffed.
She was a little perturbed, a little off-put by it.
Was she crazy also? I mean, in some ways you could say
There's a
she'd
lot of,
have to be
like,
crazy to date him.
Their relationship was really fucked up and abusive and like...
Oh, okay. So
yeah, really...
She's too young to even know, right? She's 19. She doesn't know any better.
She's like 20-something now. They got...
Yeah.
I think their second kid is on the way.
Let's
at
just
this
say
point.
25 or less is about the same.
She's
intelligence as
early
20.
20s. Early 20s.
Yeah, it's the same as 19. So
Yeah.
she doesn't know it better because honestly, can you imagine your lover telling you that they tried to kill someone and you'd be like,
Try not to do that next time.
The pit of my stomach just dropped. I don't know who you are.
Slightly miffed that she has been trying to kill people, she encouraged her husband to leave town, mostly to stop him from trying again. He resisted until George de Morenschlitt, George, stopped by for an unannounced visit, greeting Lee at the door with a joke. How is it possible that you missed?
He knew?
He laughed. Lee didn't.
Wait. How did he know? How did George know?
He knew that Lee hated that they both hated Walker. He was just joking. He was like, "Hey, how'd you miss him?"
Oh, so he didn't know. It was just a lucky joke.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Right? Isn't it great?
Oh my god.
Lee didn't. Oh yeah, he laughed. Lee didn't, and so now Lee freaked out, skipped town a couple days later.
So Lee didn't tell him like
No, Lee didn't go. Man, it was the window. I didn't even see it coming.
Lee was like, how did you know?
No, Lee was like,
What do you mean?
"Ha ha! I didn't. Yeah, good joke.
Wait, you
That's
said
funny."
Does Lee talk with a Russian accent now?
Well, it is a note like Lee at this point was talking at home only in Russian. Like he was trying to continue on with the Russian shit as much as he could.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was super cool, man.
This guy gives a bad name to people that are just weird.
For a
You know what I
while, he settled in New Orleans, got a job, and started research on his new ideal communist haven, Cuba. He started a chapter of the Fair Play for Cuba Committee and began distributing thousands of pamphlets that read, "Hands off Cuba." According to records, his chapter had 35 members. In reality, they were all fake. Even the chapter president, A.J. Hidell, was made up by Lee.
Oh, it's pathetic.
He obsessed over his new idol, Fidel Castro, wandering away from his post at work to read and think about Marxism.
What a fucking dork. His new idol, Fidel Castro. Oh my god.
I mean, to be fair, in '63, Castro was pretty cool.
Oh,
had a
no.
jacket, had a beard, smoked cigars.
oh yeah, that fucking dorky
baseball.
ass.
Love
Yeah,
baseball.
yeah.
Castro's.
That awful Los Feliz hat. Ugh. Oh my god.
I love that you called it a Los
Those hats
Feliz
are
hat.
fucking
If you
disgusting.
don't know, fine, a Portland hat, whatever,
Oh.
a Brooklyn hat for whatever
worst
region of the
hat
of the-
ever.
He pulled off the beard really well, though. The
He
beard
did.
was really.
It was good for
really
a while.
Strong.
It was pretty powerful.
Really strong.
When he actually was at work, he annoyed his coworkers by pointing a finger gun at them and saying "pow."
A guy who tried to kill someone, that would terrify me to later fucking find out that he was the assassin of the president. He used to point his fucking air gun at me and say "pow."
He was fired within months. With his new free time, he tried to infiltrate an anti-Castro group, but they soon discovered him handing out pro-Castro leaflets.
Hey, what's it say on your leaflet?
It's just I got a band. Come see my band.
No.
Yeah, my band is called Fidel Castro's Super Cool, and I support Cuba all the way. I know it's a clunky title for a band name, but we're really metal.
Oh, you guys are just being ironic about it.
Yes. Irony is what we're going for with this band title.
Oh, that's genius.
Also, the address that's on here, that is not a convention center. That's a nightclub that we're playing.
Oh, it's great, man. I'd love to come support you. You got a Patreon?
I think the show's sold out. But
I'll just support you on Patreon. You got a sticker of the month club like that podcast crime?
the group confronted Lee while he was passing out papers, and after a small scuffle, they were all arrested for disturbing the peace. At the court hearing, Lee made a point of sitting in the black section of the segregated courtroom.
Oh, this is where all of our friends in Hollywood be like, I actually kind of like Lee because even though he's like a murderer, he liked black people, so he must
very
be cool.
inclusive.
He's also
very
against
inclusive.
capitalism, which we know that's like most of the horrors in this world are, if they're not religion, it's all
Oh
capitalism.
yeah,
you know?
bro, dude.
So
I read a lot of his manifestos on / late stage capitalism. Like he's pretty cool, dude, and he likes black people, and I'm pretty sure he's cool with gays. So if he wants to be a murderer, like whatever, he's cool.
there are some theories that there was some like weird sexuality questions going on with him. There's one report that that when he was in San Diego and as a Marine, they went on a trip to Tijuana and he took all his friends to a gay bar, and everyone knew him at the gay bar.
Oh yeah,
there's some weird shit like
But
that.
you could
I think he'd support the Me Too movement, Lee.
Probably
Big time.
and they'd be like, he's a good guy. I'd be like, but he's also a murderer. Like, but he likes equal rights, so I'm into him. But honestly, though, nothing wrong with going to a gay bar if you're straight, right? I've been to them; they're fun. Yeah, a lot of hot guys there.
Lee was fined $10 for disturbing the peace. But he and the anti-Castro guys weren't done. They agreed to a debate about Cuba that would take place live on the radio. Lee showed up ready to prove that Castro was super awesome. He was not ready for the anti-Castro people to present his entire life story, including his dishonorable discharge from the military and attempt to defect to Russia.
Oh, he thought that they were going to stay on topic, but they'd be like, "You're not credible, dude."
And he was trying to pull it back. He's like, "Yeah, but Cuba, bro." It's like,
No, let's not forget about Cuba. Let's talk about Yuba.
Cigars, though, and beards and epaulets, outdated cars.
Well, what are people's beliefs that Castro
Dancing.
was good? What did he do that was so good?
People who believed that capitalism was fucked up and that
But
communism
Cuba's
was better.
But was a shithole for just about everybody except for the elite.
I don't know what Cuba was like at this exact moment in time.
Oh, it was
before the embargo, I don't know if Cuba was
It was
like.
still pretty good.
I think it was still
Because
doing
they had
all right.
leftovers from capitalism that they could use until they wore out.
And they were
like
still
their
being
cars.
propped up by Russia and the USSR and stuff like that. Like there was.
I feel like there's a lot of good casinos going on.
Fuck
A
yeah.
lot of high rollers and casinos.
Yeah, you could
happening.
party,
in
bro.
Cuba.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
think
it seemed good. Yeah, anywhere there's a lot of casinos, things must be great. You ever been to fucking the streets behind Main Street on Vegas?
He got his ass beat in this debate so bad that he decided to leave the country. He jumped on a bus to Mexico City where he tried to get a visa to travel to Cuba. But the embassy said he needed Soviet approval. But the Soviets said he needed Cuban approval. And the Cubans said he needed Soviet approval.
I just don't know to believe anymore.
The American said, "Come back Monday."
After a week of trying to get to Cuba, he gave up and returned home.
Oh, dude, this guy's a real giver-upper.
Instead of
He's
going...
going to do great in communism.
Oh,
Don't worry, all we have is gray paint. You'll be fine. I give up. You don't have to really give anything.
there's no giving of any kind.
There's
You just
nothing to
do
give.
the one thing that you do.
You drink your vodka rations and you close your door
This is a
inside your house.
binary system. You say yes or you say no. And really, there's only just the yes.
Here is a potato.
Instead of moving home with Marina outside the city, he rented a room in Dallas for $7 a week so he could be closer to his new job at the Texas School Book Depository.
Dun dun dun.
Finally, he had a perfect job.
How much is $7 a week at that time now?
I don't know exactly, but I didn't do the thing. I should have done the thing.
I love the thing.
I know, I should have done the
You know
thing.
how much I
Whatever.
love the thing.
What's the thing?
Where I figure out how much money a thing was then and how much it would
Thing
be
is
worth
now
now.
what it translates to now.
Yeah.
I just didn't do it this time.
It's kind of torturous to your
I
co-host.
know that hurts you a lot. It was still not very much money. $7 a week was still like real
It's
cheap.
still really good rent.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
good rent.
Okay.
So he had a perfect job now. He liked working with books, and people there generally left him alone. Marina soon gave birth to another baby. Lee was 24 years old with a wife, 2 kids, and a job he could tolerate. Everything was going great. But then the FBI stopped by his wife's home twice in November of 1963 to follow up on his role with Fair Play and his trip to Mexico City. Lee was not happy. He dropped off a note to the Dallas FBI office that supposedly read, "Let this be a warning. I will blow up the FBI and the Dallas Police Department if you don't stop bothering my wife."
Okay, now today we would take that shit seriously.
So there's a debate because one of the many parts of the conspiracy is that this note was destroyed and it was against FBI protocol to destroy a note like this. So some people say that it was just like, "Hey, can you guys stop harassing me, please?"
Yeah.
And some people say that it was like this actual threat.
Fuck off,
There's
comrade.
no way to determine what it was, but I prefer the "fuck off, I'm gonna blow you up" note.
Stronger.
Yeah, stronger. Certainly more
Yeah.
personality there. Then on November 19th, the Dallas Times-Herald published an article detailing the exact route that would be taken 2 days later by the motorcade of President John F. Kennedy.
Oh, fair.
It would pass through Dealey Plaza, right in front of Lee's new job at the Texas School Book Depository.
I feel like something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Why?
He's going to throw a book at
I
him.
feel like something's gonna happen.
A heavy one, too.
He just starts
War and Peace!
he starts reading Mein Kampf out the window really loud.
Yeah. President's like, who the hell is that?
Man, that's
Don't worry, sir.
German is not that pretty when you yell it.
You know, in like the alternate, what is it, like the multiverse? That happened in some place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he definitely just yelled Mein Kampf quotes at once. And one of them, he just threw cupcakes out the window. Mm-hmm. And Kennedy was like, "Oh man, that Actually, that tastes pretty good. Thank you.
In one of the dimensions,
Appreciate it.
a rifle held up Lee Harvey and then shot a cupcake out of his mouth at the president.
I like that one.
It gets weird.
And one of them, Lee Harvey Oswald, just jumped out the window and landed, but he landed on the hood of the car.
And one of them, Lee Harvey, he was the car.
I like
It's just getting real Rick and Morty over here. All right, go on.
On the 21st, Lee asked for a ride from a friend to and from Marina's home
Regulators!
so he could pick up curtain rods for his apartment, which already had curtains and rods.
But you gotta replace those things often, though, especially if you're going back and forth to Russia. You're bringing back weird salts on your skin. The brass starts to get a little weathered.
On November 24th, 1963, Lee Harvey Oswald took his curtain rods to the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. Around 12:30 that afternoon, the motorcade pulled into Dealey Plaza. The wife of Texas Governor John Connally, also in the car, turned to JFK and said, quote, "Mr. President, you can't say that Dallas doesn't love you."
Oh,
No, he
my
replied,
God.
"You certainly can't." That's when Lee fired 3 shots in the motorcade, one of which killed John F. Kennedy.
Oh, my God.
What happened to the curtain rods?
Well,
This guy's got fucking Bed Bath & Beyond questions. Kennedy's head just got blown off.
did he have the rings to like hold the curtain up too, or
Did he
was it
keep
like
the
one of those
receipts?
slip over the rod type curtains?
I worry about curtain rods. I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Did he get one of those things that goes behind the shower that like holds your? Because those things they always like slip
Detective
down. It
Johnson,
seems.
you're asking the wrong questions about the case.
Sorry.
Sorry, I wanted to be an interior decorator before I became the FBI agent.
Was he using bar? Did he get bar soap, or did he have like that body wash stuff?
That's
that,
all
like,
they had. They didn't
it's-
have body wash in the old days.
How dare they?
They had borax and bar soap.
As Lee made his way out of the building, he suddenly found himself face to face with the revolver of a Dallas police officer. But Lee's boss told the officer that he was an employee, so the cop let him pass and continued upstairs.
Oh, my God.
Lee bought a Coca-Cola from a vending machine, walked out the front door, and jumped on a bus.
Enjoy a Coke.
But he got off when it got stuck in the assassination traffic.
Assassination traffic.
Yeah, which, to be fair, is nowhere near as bad as just general LA traffic.
traffic.
So,
Nothing's as bad as LA traffic.
man, someone better gotten assassinated up there. I'm going to sit through this so long.
That's fucking awful.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon. What's everyone doing? Don't you guys have jobs?
Must be assassination traffic.
He finally got back to his rented room, grabbed some things, then went outside to wait for another bus. But none came. So he started walking.
but none.
By now, a description of the suspect had been broadcast. So when Officer J.D. Tippett saw Lee walking on the street,
By the power vested in me, Officer J.D. Tippett.
he decided to investigate. The moment he got out of his car, Lee opened fire, killing him instantly.
Oh, really?
Aren't you so sad you joked about him now?
Oh my
gosh, you bad person. How would you feel if people joked about murder? Are
I
you
feel
serious?
so
Who
bad.
does that?
Yeah, I do feel bad about Officer J.D.
Tippett.
Bought the farm.
He ran. Lee opened fire, killed him, and then he ran, ducking into a movie theater to hide.
So he shot the president, then he killed this cop. Mm-hmm. Oh,
He's on a roll. He's rolling.
I thought he just shot the. I didn't know that. Well, I guess you're kind of going to get overshadowed if you're the
And
cop
then he
and
didn't
president.
even recycle his Coca-Cola glass.
I mean,
Bought,
that's strike 3. You're out of here, Oswald. Get him out of here.
But there would be no hiding this time. Witnesses called the police, who found Lee sitting by himself in the back of the theater.
Hello, comrade. I'm Lee Harvey Oswald.
As Officer Nick McDonald approached, Lee said,
Have you
quote,
had your rest today?
Well,
I'm Officer McDonald. Get it?
"Well, it is all over now," pulled his gun, aimed it at the officer, and fired.
Oh, fuck.
But luckily for Officer Nick,
I didn't hear that one.
What'd
What'd you say, sir?
How dare you?
But luckily, hashtag.
As he reached out to grab the pistol, the webbing between his thumb and forefinger got stuck between the hammer and the round, stopping it from firing and saving his life.
Oh, fuck. Is he still alive or is he?
Yeah, he didn't die.
He's still alive right now,
Yeah,
too? To this
I don't know
day?
if he's still alive now.
I'm just curious.
After a brief struggle, officers placed Lee under arrest. As they walked him out, he yelled that he was a victim of police brutality.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Lee.
At his interrogation, he denied everything. He denied killing the president and Officer Tippett. He denied owning a rifle.
Oh, the guy who was fucking yelling about communism for the past fucking decade is now all of a sudden, no, I didn't do nothing wrong, kid.
He said the pictures of him with guns were fakes. He denied getting a ride to pick up curtain rods.
This is pre-Photoshop, folks. Don't believe him.
He even denied any knowledge of his political affiliations. Despite carrying cards
the
that
communist
said
cards?
the other way.
Oh,
yeah,
fucking
He even had the
dork.
identity, a fake identification card.
Yeah.
that had his picture with the name of the fake president of the Cuba Club.
What a fucking dork. You're a fucking dork, Lee Harvey.
When he passed reporters in the hallway, he yelled, "I didn't shoot anybody. They've taken me in because of the fact I lived in the Soviet Union. I'm just a patsy."
Another nickname for him. Patsy.
His Marine buddies there. I was like, yeah, we used to call him Patsy. What's up there, Patsy?
A lot of this also contributes to part of the conspiracy theory stuff, where it's like all these videos of him, like of a criminal saying he didn't do it. So weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, we'll use that as evidence that he was not the assassin.
2 days later, Lee was escorted through the basement of the Dallas police headquarters to an armored car waiting to take him to the county jail. As reporters gathered to take pictures and film, a 51-year-old man named Jack Ruby stepped out of the crowd. Jack was well known there, as he ran a collection of strip joints, nightclubs, and houses of ill repute that catered to and gave freebies to local cops. So they were all shocked when he pulled out a pistol and shot Lee in the stomach.
What the fuck?
And this is on camera, by the way.
I remember being a little kid and my grandpa telling me about this and explaining.
As the shot rang out, an officer yelled, "Jack, you son of a bitch!"
Just because he's just friends with him, like, why the
Jack.
They're gonna close down my favorite strip joint now, you fucking prick. That's what I'd be thinking if I
We
was
still
the
get
cop.
freebies, Jack.
Jack, tell me that your kid's gonna inherit the business, please. It's my only fucking source of fun is going to your strip clubs after a hard day of being a hot and sweaty Dallas police officer. I really don't have time to date anyone, so the only time I get the soft touch of a woman is when I come to your club and I don't shut it down because of all the illegal actions that you break, and you let me just do them. That's kind of our trade-off. But now that you've killed someone in broad daylight, it's probably gonna be pretty hard for them not to condemn your properties, and then after work, I'm gonna end up having to learn how to fucking bowl or something like that, or talk to my wife. Fuck!
Cops tackled Jack Ruby, but it was too late.
Touchdown!
Lee Harvey Oswald died 2 hours later at the age of 24.
I can see...
Full life, though.
Dude...
He went to Taiwan, went to Japan, went to the Philippines, lived in Russia. He banged a girl in front of his friends.
I know, right?
Like, this guy
Quite the bucket list, oi!
did some shit.
Good run.
Oh my god!
And that's where the story of Lee Harvey Oswald ends.
Texas is the reason that the president's dead.
If you want to know more, there's apparently like 4,000 books that have been written about this
well, you can
story.
see why if you had, and I'm not saying that this is the full story. You can see how weird it would be that someone went and shot him in broad daylight. What happened to Ruby? Did he stand trial or did he die?
He did stand trial, and he was convicted and sentenced to death initially, then appealed, and it was mitigated to life temporarily. And then he was trying to appeal again, and then he died of cancer in 1967.
Does it say what his motive was?
I think he had said like he wanted to spare Jackie and the country like the agony of going through a trial of this whole thing. He wanted to spare.
So this is part of the
Jackie,
conspiracy theory
That's
stuff
the
because
dumbest motive
well,
ever. Like,
also,
really?
like-
Sure, yeah.
That's your civic fucking contribution is you want to spare us the trial? What?
his
That is
life
bullshit.
and business were kind of falling apart at the time.
So he could have been just as loony as Oswald, but he wanted to go down.
He had
and,
some loony history.
I'll kill the guy that killed the
He
president.
thought he'd be looked at as a hero.
right. I could see that.
He'd
as a
also been
crazy
like
person
he'd
being-
also been like people noted that he'd like been crying. He wasn't a crier, and he'd been crying like a whole bunch ever since.
So he was going through some crazy stuff.
Yeah, he was going through some shit. And so, but part of the conspiracy theory is that he had some ties to organized crime because he did some illicit shit.
Yeah.
And so the people who go with the mob did it theory believe that the mob like paid him off to go kill to
Interesting.
silence Lee Harvey Oswald.
That's not weird enough for me because you didn't have any shape-shifting aliens in there. So
Yeah.
I was just like, not weird enough.
Nope. Yeah,
Nope.
needs more.
Yep, needs more. Not
Not-
weird enough. If your conspiracy theories aren't weird enough, they're implausible.
They're out.
No, it's got to be so weird that I'm like, oh my god, they did it with a fucking hologram. Oh my god, the lizards are eating our fucking thoughts. Like then I'm like, oh fuck, maybe.
Yeah. No, like he and Marina both testified in front of the Warren, and the Warren Commission is like one of the biggest government investigations
Oh,
of
I
all
know. Dude.
time.
I have an uncle named Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. Like sushi.
No, he doesn't actually.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, there's a lot of fallout that came from this. The one thing I couldn't find out was I didn't really dig that deep.
How big his dick was?
Yeah,
I know.
that
there's no record.
no
of
one ever
Oswald's
writes
dick.
that down.
But he did have a pretty big gun, so probably a tiny penis, right?
There you
This
go.
is before lifted trucks.
I have no idea. I don't know what happened to his kids afterwards. I don't know like what their lives. They're probably still alive.
They're
unless, like,
probably
something
doing
weird
really well.
happened.
They probably have like YouTube channels with millions of views, or they're
That's
in
what I'm
Hollywood
guessing.
producing something. They're
That's
probably
what
doing
I'm
fine,
They're in a band somewhere
Yeah.
called Hands Off Cuba.
right?
Hands off Cuba.
Hands Off Cuba?
My favorite.
Oh,
band.
dude. Our lead singer is Francis Bean Cobain. I'm an artist.
So part of the reason why we're doing this story and releasing it now, obviously, as you probably know, this month is the 55th anniversary.
55, yeah.
55th anniversary.
63 to 18, yeah, 55. Wow.
Of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And Doug is here because he has put together a very, very cool movie that ties into a story called Power Shift. You want to tell us a little bit about the film?
Yeah, Power Shift kind of takes on the question, like I grew up in Massachusetts and everyone loved Kennedy and they loved JFK, the whole Kennedy family. And everyone always assumed, if JFK had lived, the world would have been a better place. Everything would have been a better place. So I kind of went at it from the angle of, well, you never know. What if I set up a scenario where things became worse? So I kind of have a scenario where this history professor figures out a way to go back in time. There's no DeLorean, but it's a little time travel thing, and he saves JFK. And when he comes back to modern day, he realizes that the world's on the verge of World War III because JFK lived, and then they killed Castro. So then this other guy comes into power in Cuba. You never would have known what would have happened there. And then he gets us out of Vietnam. So then there's no Vietnam. So there's no counterculture. There's no protesting. There's no Nixon. There's no Watergate. There's no questioning of authority.
Ooh.
And then they have a thing where
fascism creeps in, or what?
Yeah. Then you have Bobby Kennedy becomes president, and they're friends with this new leader in Cuba who tricks the Kennedys. And then Cuba attacks Florida, so it's all this stuff. So you come back to modern day.
Well, that'd be okay, right? Florida's a shithole, right?
Yeah. And it's modern day, and we're on the verge of World War III, and this history professor realizes the only way to stop World War III is to find a way back to 1963 and kill his hero, kill Kennedy.
Oh, wow.
So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, Power Shift. What would happen if Kennedy got saved, and what would happen if you realized that you really shouldn't have saved him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but what if we found out that attacking Florida either way wouldn't have made a difference?
I think.
In this same edition, the people still just do the exact same shit. They're like, well, bath salts seem fun to smoke. You're like,
it's all the same. It hasn't made a difference.
Smoking bath salts is a new 30. I think very much.
The alternate history, we've tried it a million times, and it still ends up with everyone's faces down at their phones. Very interesting. And sorry for insulting Florida, folks. I was just joking. Sandro, if you're listening, I love you and your family. Mwah, mwah,
Today's
ciao.
sources include Case Closed, Lee Harvey Oswald and the Assassination of JFK by Gerald Posner, and, of course, the evil robots at Wikipedia. But I mostly worked off of Case Closed for this one. I debated my sources. I tried to go with one that I thought gave just the most basic, the most clear story of Lee Harvey Oswald's actual life.
That's great.
So
you did a great job.
Interesting.
Thank you very much.
I learned stuff I didn't even know. There was stuff I didn't even know in there.
Yeah,
but how he and his mom banged it out so much.
We made that up, though, right?
What?
Was it real? This goes down as fact. What if this podcast got billions of downloads and then we just changed history? Dude, Doug, you should write a screenplay about that. Just one episode of a podcast.
We have to go back in time and stop this episode from ever happening.
I mean, in a way, though, if you think of the podcast butterfly effect.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. You can support the show in a bunch of different ways.
Most importantly, Patreon!
Jump on the Patreon if you want to.
Jump on that Patreon.
But actually, the most important way to support the show is tell your friends about the show.
Actually, don't tell them. Show them.
Show them.
Click the share button.
Download it.
It'll actually let you put it into people's text messages.
Do that thing from the movie.
Uncle Tanny, you got to hear this podcast, and just click on the share and send it to Uncle Tanny right now.
Or Clockwork Orange them, where you force their eyes open, even though it's an audio medium.
Yeah, it's audio.
You force their eyes open and then make them listen to the show. Also, look at the show notes as they're listening to it, so they can see all the links.
The people who are probably going to do it are going to be our super serious listeners. They'll probably have stickers from Sticker of the Month, so they can do the Clockwork Orange, and they can actually press the stickers up in the faces of the people whose eyes are being held open, and then play the episode's audio while they're seeing the pictures of the stickers.
You can follow the show on all social medias at CrimePod, CRIIIMEPOD.
Social
You can email the show, crimepodcast@gmail.com. Send us your show ideas, questions, comments, dick pics, label those for Shefsky.
Yeah, I want to see a Oswald dick pic in front of a commie flag.
Yeah. If you got one of those, send that out there. And Doug, where can people find you, and where can they expect to see the movie?
We can expect to see this movie, hopefully, what's this? What are we in right now?
This is November.
So I'm thinking probably around this time next year. Around this time next year.
So keep an eye out for Power Shift, and if people want to find you, where should they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Krincenzo, KRINCHENZO.
We'll link that in the show notes.
And find me on Facebook, Doug Krintzman. You can find me probably hanging out at gas stations too. There's a good Chevron I like, but it's pretty much it.
Yeah, and
we know from this show that dudes that hang out at gas stations always stay out of trouble.
Super dope.
Look out for Doug.
We love you, criminals.
Love you guys. Peace.
Bye, robot.
Bye, robots. Peace out, guys. We love you guys. Don't commit any crimes.
If you do, keep notes though.
Don't commit any crimes, guys. Make the world a better place.